You stood in front of the mirror adjusting the pleats of the beautiful silk saree. Your mom insisted you to wear tonight. It wasn't your usual style. You preferred simple clothes, but tonight was different. It was Taehyung's birthday party, your brother's best friend, the person who had been avoiding you. The argument played in your mind and over again. It wasn't even that big of a deal, just a small fight about him being careless with a brother during a dangerous trip. But the way you had snapped at him in front of everyone made him a bliss. His cold eyes onto you for a split second before he stormed out. Ever since he had been distant, ignoring your texts, not showing up to a family dinner, and even avoiding your gaze. And now here you are getting ready to face him again. The saree hugged your figure perfectly, its grey color contrasting against your skin. You were different, more mature but also nervous. You had scolded Taehyung out of worry, not anger. But it simply had taken it wrong way. Maybe tonight you could talk to him, apologize, or at least. As you walked towards the downstairs, you could hear a loud chatter from the living room. Your brother Jongwon was laughed with some friends, while Taehyung's deep voice could be heard from the kitchen. A chill ran down your spine just hearing him speak. You haven't heard his voice. Taking a deep breath, you stepped into the living room, all eyes turned to you, and for a moment you felt self-conscious. Everyone was used to seeing you jeans and casual dresses, but the saree was different. Wow, Wan, you looked amazing, Jonghyun exclaimed, walking over to give you a quick hug, his eyes widening in surprise as he looked at you on your outfit. Out of the corner of your eyes, you saw Taehyung step into the room. He froze for a second when he saw you, his eyes scanning your figure, his expression unreadable. He took her dashing dresses in a slip like suit that fit him perfectly, but that wasn't no warmth in his eyes. Happy birthday, Taehyung, he said softly. He gave a small nod, barely glancing your way before turning his attention back to the guest. Your heart sank. Was he really going to ignore you the whole night? As the party continued, found yourself consistently glancing at Taehyung. He mingled with guests, laughed with Jonghyun, and even smiled at a few jokes. But every time, you found yourself standing alone in the snacks bar, pretending to be interested in the food while your mind raced. Why was he being so distant? Was it because the one fight, or was something else? The more you thought about it, the more confused you became. You looked different. You turned around, surprised to see Taehyung standing behind you. His expression still unreadable. His eyes flickered over your saree once again, but this time there was something else in his gaze. Is that good thing or a bad thing? You asked, trying to keep your voice light, though his heart was pounding. He shrugged. I don't know, just different. You wanted to say so many things, apologize, explaining anything to break the awkwardness, but the word couldn't come out. Instead, you just stood there waiting for him to say something else. After felt like eternity, he finally spoke. I noticed, you replied quietly, looking down at your hands. It is because of what I said. Because if it is, I didn't mean to hurt you. I was just worried about you and Jonghyun. Taehyung let out a sigh, running hand through his hair. I know, I get that now. But at that time, it felt like you were blaming me, and I didn't know how to deal with that. You bite your lip, guilt washing over you. I'm sorry, Taehyung. I didn't mean to make you feel like that. I was just scared. For the first time in a week, his expression softened, and he met your gaze fully. I shouldn't have avoided you. I needed time to cool off. You nodded, revealed that he was finally talking to you. I get it, but you don't have to push me like that. Something about the way he said a word made your heart ache. But you pushed your feelings aside. This wasn't a scene dwell on your complicated feelings were there. Tonight was about making things right between you two. As the night went on, you found yourself standing next to him more often, sharing small conversation here and there, though he was still a bit distant. By the end of the party, you and Taehyung found yourself standing outside the balcony, away from the noise and sounds of the party. The cool night air felt refreshing against your skin, and for the first time in days, you felt a sense of peace. Taehyung leaned against the railing. You smiled, your heart is skipping a bit. Thank you. Silence fell between you again, but this time it wasn't awkward, it was comfortable, almost peaceful. I'm sorry, though. Taehyung suddenly sighed, his voice volume of a whisper. For what? You asked, turning back to for avoiding you, for being distant. I didn't mean to make you. You reached out, placing a hand on his arm. It's okay, we are good now, right? He looked down at your hand, then back at you, his eyes softening. The cool light breeze brushed against your skin as you and Taehyung stood close together on the balcony. There was something about being alone with him under the stars that made the air feel heavier, more intense. He was staying at your house for the few next days, and even though he had mentioned your family were close, so close that there had been talks of marriage between you and them, though neither of you had ever addressed it directly, the idea of marriage lingered in the back of your mind. As you both stood silent, a peaceful atmosphere began to shift. You looked small forward, leaning against the balcony railing. The soft rustling of the saree's fabric echoed faintly in the quiet night. Suddenly, Taehyung shifted behind you, and without realizing, his hand brushed against. He didn't mean to, but it is the movement. His finger accidentally caught the delicate fabric, pulling it slightly. Before you could react, the plaits come loosened, and in an instant, the saree slipped in your body, falling to the ground. You gasped, feeling the collar against your bare skin, leaving you nothing but your young eyes widened, his face turning pale for a second before a deep blush crept on his neck. His eyes dropped to the saree back of you, his expression a mix of shock and embarrassment. Oh, you stammered, your face burning with emulation. Your hands immediately flew to cover yourself, but the shock of the moment left you unsure what to do next. The gaze lingered for just a moment too long, his throat dropping as he gulped. His face was now a deep shade of red. For a second, you saw something flicker in his eyes. I didn't mean, he started, his voice low and husky, clearly embarrassed. I'm sorry, while you quickly bent down to grab the saree, wrapping it around yourself as best as you could. Your hand shook slightly, your mind racing with a mix of shock, embarrassment, and something else that made your stomach flutter. It's okay, you mumbled, not meeting his eyes, your voice volume over whisper. It was an accident. But the tension between you both was palpable. You could feel the heat radiating from his body as he stood so close. And even though you were now holding the saree tightly around you, the memory of accident pull still lingered. Taehyung took a deep breath, his voice low as he spoke again. I didn't mean to, honestly, I would never. His voice trailed off, and for the first time since the accident, he looked into your eyes. There was something vulnerable in his expression, something that made your heart beat even faster. But the way he looked at you now, it wasn't just embarrassment. There was something deeper in his gaze, something that made the air between you feel electric. His eyes flickered to your face, then back down at your ground, as if he was struggling to something. You bit your lip, unsure what to say. The evening had taken a turn you hadn't expected, and not standing so close to him. The feeling you had tried to bury so long bubbled up surface. You wanted to say something, anything to ease the tension, but words seemed to escape you. Before you could speak, then suddenly stepped closer. It's fine, really, you repeated, your voice softer now. Let's just forget it happened. As you said the words, you knew they wouldn't be so easily forgotten. The way his eyes lingered on you, the way your heart had raced, it wasn't something either of you could ignore. As the silence crashed between you again, Taehyung finally exhaled. I should go inside, you whispered, feeling the weight of everything had just happened, pressing down on you. Yeah, Taehyung agreed quietly, his voice strained, but just as you turned to leave, you felt his arm gently grab your waist, stopping you in your tracks. You froze, your heart escaping as a bit. Your brain caught you in your thought, his words hanging in the air between you. He wasn't just talking about the sudden incident. You could feel it the way he looked at you, in the way his voice trembled slightly. Times came, it was a dinner time, the aroma of the home cooked food filled the house, and you could hear the sound of dishes being placed on the table as your family gathered in the dining area. You had spent your heart still raced every time you thought about it, his eyes on you, the way he curbed the tension that hung in the air after the saree had fallen. It was something neither of you could forget so easily. Now as you approached the dining room, you stepped into the room trying to appear calm, but your fingers wiggled nervously with the edge of the saree, making sure it stayed in place. As visual, your family was already seated, chatting about something you couldn't quite hear. Come on, said your mom said warmly. Of course, he has left that seat for you. They always did. Ever since Young had started staying over, your family made sure you would sat together during every meal. You wasn't sure if they did it on purpose, but it had become habit, and now you quietly made your way to the seat, feeling the weight of the young gaze on you. His presence seemed even more overwhelming tonight, and when your eyes met his, you immediately felt a heat rise to your cheeks. His face had the same reaction, his cheeks slightly flushed. You sat down, keeping your eyes on the plate, hoping no one had noticed the silent exchange between you two. But your hope was shattered when your mom, always quick to notice, claimed in a teasing grin. Then did you know when wore this grey saree just for you tonight? Your mom said, her playful eyes widened in shock. She wants to impress you. At that moment, you wanted to sink into the floor. Your cheeks burned bright red, and a shout of panic looked into your mother, unable to believe what she just said. Taehyung had snapped up his expression, one of surprise as well, though you could hint of something else in his eyes. Curiosity, maybe something more. What? Your voice higher than intended as you glanced at Taehyung. His dark eyes were now on you, his lips slightly parted in surprise, and you could feel his gaze lingering on your face. Then moving to the grey side for a moment, you saw his throat pop as he swallowed hard, his heartbeat visibly quaking. No, no, it's not like that, you stammered, turning to your mom and his sister, who were now giggling. It was her idea, Mom's. I didn't pick this saree to impress anyone. But your protest made things made worse as her sister chimed in laughter. Sure, when you're blushing so much, then I think you made quite an impression on her. Your face was now burning with embarrassment and you could feel Taehyung's eyes still on you. His expression unreadable, you dared to glare at him, only to find him smiling softly, his eyes crinkling at the corner. That familiar, gentle smile. I am not trying to impress him, you muttered under your breath, but the teasing didn't stop. Your family laughter filled the air, and even though Taehyung chuckled, though you could tell he was trying to be polite about it, his gaze kept flickering to you, and each time your eyes. Don't be so shy, Van. Your mom continued, still teasing. We know how close you two are. Besides, we have talked about it, right? It's only natural. You know exactly what she meant. Your family had been hiding at a marriage between you and them for a while now, and though the two of you had never spoken about it. Taehyung shifted his seat, but trying to remain composed, he cleared his throat and gave a small, nervous laugh. I'm flattered, Mrs. Lee, but really it's just a sorry. Your heart jumped at his word, and you could help but feel revealed that he was trying to diffuse. His gaze lingered on the soft folds of the sari, the color complementing your skin, and the memory of how it fallen earlier seemed to flash across his mind again. Your mom and sister kept giving, sharing knowing glances with each other, but the teasing eventually died down. The conversation shifted to other topic. You tried to focus on your meal, but every now and then your eyes would drift toward Taehyung, only to find him doing the same. When the meal finally ended, you stood up quickly, eager to escape the teasing and the tension, but as you turned to leave the dining area, you felt a soft tug on your waist. You looked back to find Taehyung, but before you could say anything more, your mom called out from the other room, breaking the moment. You quickly pulled your hand free, mumbling something about helping with the dishes before. As soon as you opened the door to your room, your heart skipped a bit. Taehyung was there, sitting on the bed, his back leaning against a headboard. His eyes were watching you intensely as you walked in. He wasn't supposed to be there. You, Taehyung, what are you doing here? He didn't answer right away. Instead, he stood up slowly, moving calm and deliberate. His gaze never left you, and with every step he took forward, you the pulse quickened. I was waiting for you. For me, do you want anything? Then stopped just a few away from you. He stopped him towering you over. He didn't respond immediately, simply gazed on your eyes, his expression unreadable. Taehyung, what I want is you, he said quietly. His voice filled with a kind of intensity that made your heart. When me, but why are you closing the door? You asked, your voice whispered, as you felt your back pressing against the wall. Taehyung tall frame closed the distance between you, and the tension in the air grew thick. Taehyung chuckled softly, low voice sound that sent wave of nervous excitement through you. He didn't answer your question directly, instead he leaned in, his face dangerously close. I'm just making sure no one interrupts us, he murmured, his lip barely an inch from your ear. Your brain tensed and you felt a blush creeping on your cheeks as you tried to maintain your composure. You stepped back intensely, but there was nowhere to go. The wall was right behind you as you moved. Taehyung's arm shot out, his hand wrapping firmly around your waist, pulling you against him. The sudden closeness made your entire body tingle, and you could feel the heel against his chest. Careful, he whispered, his voice low and teasing, his eyes locking onto yours, his hand reaching up, gently brushing a stained from hair from your face. His finger lingered on your skin just a moment longer than necessary. Your breath hesitated again, and you couldn't help but blush madly under his intense gaze. Your heart was pounding so loud, you were sure he could hear it. There, what are you doing? You began, but your voice trailed off as he held you even closer, the space between you practically. For a moment, everything around you seemed to blur, and all you could focus on was that feel of his hand on your waist, the warmth of his body pressed against yours. His eyes were dark, filled with intensity you hadn't seen in him before, and you realized with a start that this was the same thing you had scolded weeks ago, the one who had always been distant, cold, but also flirtatious. Then lip curled into a small smirk, and you saw a glint in his eyes that made your heart even race more. He close now, and so close that you could feel the heart radiating from him. The scent of his cologne cake, filling your sense, the tension was overwhelming. You are blushing again, he did softly, his hand still resting on your waist. I am not your mother to you, never it was a lie. You are blushing and the way he is looking at you wasn't helping, your heart pounding out of control. And finally you thought about to melt under the weight of his gaze. Liar, the young moment his lip and just inches away from you. His eyes flickering down to your lips for a brief second and your breath caught in your throat. The room felt too small, too hot, and you knew you were dangerously close to crossing a line. But then, before you could say anything, before you could even think, the young voice dropped even lower. When he said softly, his hand blushing over your side, sending goosebumps across your skin. I've been thinking about this for a while now, about this. I see you whispered, barely able to word out. He nodded, his voice gaze softening, just like as his hand moved from your waist to cup your faces from brushing his cheek in a gentle, almost loving way. I can't stop thinking about you, he confessed, his voice sincere now. I tried to push away. Tang's finger gently traced along your jaw, tilting your face so that you were looking directly into his eyes. He began, his voice low but filled with emotion. I didn't want to admit it even to myself because I wasn't sure if you felt the same. But I can't hide it anymore, I can't keep pretending. He paused for a moment, his thumb brushing softly across her cheek as he took a deep breath. When I'm in love with you, I have been in love with you for a long time. You froze your breath, catching in your thought about you. The man who had been cold, distant, frustrating at times, was now standing in front of you, confessing his love. It didn't seem real, but a look in his eyes told everything you needed to know. He wasn't playing games, he was just young. I know I have acted like I didn't care. He continued, his voice growing more tender with each word. I know I pushed you away, but it was because I didn't want to lose control of my parents. I thought if I gave this, then I could. Your heart pounded in your chest and you felt a warmth spreading to you as he word signs. Taehyung was in love with you. He wasn't just saying to get what he wanted, he truly meant it. Taehyung, he whispered, you were unsure what to say. Taehyung, I love you, he repeated, his eyes shining with sincerity, and I don't want to hide it anymore. I want you in my life, and not just for tonight, not just for a moment, for forever. I want to be my wife because I can't imagine my life without you in it. Tears began a corner of your eyes as you heard a raw emotion in his voice. This was the young you had been waiting for, the one who wasn't afraid to show feelings, wasn't afraid to be vulnerable in front of you. The young I have seen you in so many moments. The young continued, his thumb gently wiping a stray tear in your hand had fallen down your cheek, laughing with your family, being kind to everyone around you, always thinking of others. Heaven, how strong and bold you are, and it made me fall for you even more. You deserve someone who loves you completely, and I want to be that person. I want to be the one who. Taehyung, I started, but he placed a finger gently against your lips, silencing you. Taehyung, you don't have to say anything, he whispered, his eyes softening. Just needed to know, but I need to ask one thing. You blinked, your heart pounding in your chest. What is it? Taehyung took a deep breath. His kiss never leaving yours. Will you marry me one? Will you be mine? Not because our family think we should be together, but because I love you, because I want to be spend a life, my rest of life with you. Your eyes widening at his word. He wasn't just asking for a relationship, he was asking for forever. He wanted you to be his wife, not out for obligation, but because he truly loved you. You felt your lip tremble as you tried to find a word to respond, your heart swelling. Then he whispered. A wide smile spread across his face and pulled you closer, wrapping his arms around you tightly, pressed his forehead against yours. His eyes closed as if he was savoring the moment. I love you, Van, he whispered again, his voice barely woke. Then pulled back slightly, his hand resting gently on your face. He leaned in, slowly pressing a soft tender kiss to your lip. The kiss that was filled with love, not lust, no desire. It was the kind of kiss that made you feel safe, cherished, and completely loved. When he finally pulled back, his eyes shining with affection. You are mine now, he said softly, his voice full of warmth, and I'm yours. And in that moment, you knew that everything had changed. Thing wasn't the coolest young man you had once known. He was the man who loved you, the man wanted to spend. Next day, the morning sun streamed through the windows as you and Thing made your way downstairs, laughing softly at some inside joke you had shared some moment earlier. You leaned into him slightly, feeling the warmth of his arm brushing against your and felt so natural, not so easy to be close to him after the previous night. As you reached the bottom of the stairs, still smiling, you noticed the eyes of everyone in the room fixed on you. Your family, along with young parents, had gathered for the breakfast. A separate expression were impossible to miss. Just yesterday, you and Taehyung were barely speaking, avoiding each other. Taehyung's mother, Mrs. Kim, raised an eyebrow as she observed the comfortable way you leaned against her son. Well, isn't this a pleasant surprise? She said with a teasing smile. His father, who just arrived from the trip, looked equally surprised. I see you two are getting along quite well now, he added, exchanging a glance with their parents. Taehyung has finally fell on his parents, and with a smile he crossed the room to greet them properly. Wrapping his arm around both of them, he hugged them tightly. Mom, Dad, I miss you, said warmly. They returned the hug, a little confused by sudden affectionate behavior. We miss you too, son, Mr. Kim replied, patting Taehyung back. And happy belated birthday, sorry we couldn't be here yesterday. No worries, Taehyung said with a grin, glancing at you briefly. It was a memorable day anyway. You smiled shyly at his word, your mind drifting back to the night before, to the moment Taehyung had confessed his love and asked you to be his. Everyone settled down at the dining table, but there was an undeniable shift in the air. Your parents, along with Taehyung, were exchanging knowing glances, and you could sense the conversation was about to take a serious turn. After a moment of small talk, Mrs. Kim cleared her throat. You glanced at Taehyung, he gave you a reassuring smile. You both knew what was coming. I think it's time we have a serious discussion, Mr. Kim said. Don't become more formal, you know. Your father joined in, his voice warm but firm. You see, we have been talking about this for a while now. Your families are very close, and we have always thought you two would make a good match. You feel your cheeks flush, Taehyung smiled knowingly, squeeze your hand under the table. Son, you have reached an age where it's time to settle down. Have patience, but we can't help but wonder what are your plans. We have got everything a man could want. Taehyung mother nodded in agreement. You need a partner, someone to share your life with, and well, her eyes speckled to you. She smiled warmly. Wine would make a perfect wife. You could barely suppress a laughter heart. Both families were trying to push you. Taehyung together was almost comical, especially considering your father chuckled. We are just saying what have been on everyone's mind for a while now. Your mother sighed dramatically, shaking her head with a smile. It's not like we are being a stubble about it. You and Taehyung exchanged glasses and almost simultaneously. His mother looked surprised, raising an eyebrow at your. What's so funny? This is a serious matter. No, it's not that just the green cutting off a address both families. We are already know what you are trying to do. Taehyung turned, smiling softly. We are way ahead of you. There was a stunned silence. Taehyung's mother was the first to speak, her eyes weighty omen. Taehyung. You could see the shock on everyone's face as slowly turned to a delight. Your mother gasped. You too. You nodded, a heart full of happiness. Yes, good, Mrs. Kim was the first to react. Oh my goodness, this was a wonderful news. Taehyung chuckled, pulling you closer to him as he looked around at your families. Nope, you don't. We figure it out on our own.